So October 14th, 2025 has had some pretty cool titles come out on 4K and Blu-ray, and one of my most favorite and anticipated movies of this year has made its way to 4K, and that is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. And I opted for the Steelbook release because I got the Steelbook for Dead Reckoning Part 1 when that came out, plus I have the Blu-ray Steelbooks for Fallout, Rogue Nation, and Ghost Protocol, so it made sense to get the nice Steelbook release. So I reviewed this movie in spoiler territory back when it came out in May, so if you want to check out that video, click the link in the corner of the screen right here. But I rewatched the film again last night in preparation for this review, and honestly, my thoughts haven't changed all that much. I know this film has gotten a little bit more of a mixed reaction from fans than the previous, 4 films did. And I do understand some of the complaints. The film is a little more exposition heavy. The first half hour or so of the beginning of the movie drags a little bit, and it does take time to fully get into the story of this film. But in my opinion, it doesn't stay that way for that long, and once it breaks free of those problems, then the film really, really hits home. Hits a lot harder, in my opinion, than some of the other Mission movies do. So I still stand by what I said in my review. I still really love the movie, and it's still so far one of my favorite movies of this year. But I was really excited and curious on how this movie was going to look and sound when it came out on 4K. So the film was scanned natively in 4K, and it does have the 239 aspect ratio, but it also has the 190 aspect ratio. So a couple times throughout the movie, we do go from the standard widescreen presentation to its full IMAX presentation, which I love when movies do that. I love that the Mission Impossible movies since Fallout have been doing it, and it doesn't give you the exact full experience of seeing it in an IMAX theater, but for home media, it's still a really great experience. I just wish all movies did that. And the film does have a Dolby Atmos track, as well as a separate Blu-ray disc for its special features. And let's take a quick look at the Steelbook packaging. I'm really happy with what they did here. There's the front, there's the back. Open it up, and like always, I'll give away the digital code at the end, but it is a 3-disc set. You got the 4K disc here, the Blu-ray disc with special features, and a separate, like I said, a special Blu-ray disc of bonus features. And here is the inside artwork without the discs in there. It's pretty simple, but pretty creative. I do like the look of the Steelbook overall. And just in case you were interested of all the information in back, here is the back image of the J card that came with the film. If you want to pause to check out all the information, go right ahead. Really quick, I want to mention with the J card, I love the description of the film. You know, movies always give you a brief synopsis of the film on the back of the cover. Well, I just love what this one does. Our lives are the sum of our choices. Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I could really tell they were like, we're not giving any plot points, any details away, just in case someone who didn't get spoiled by the movie when it was in theaters, didn't get a chance to see it in theaters. We don't want to give anything away, so as funny as that is, I do appreciate that. Now, I have enjoyed all the Mission Impossible movies when they all came out on 4K. I do own the first 6 movies in this nice collection pack when it finally was available. It was out of print for a while, and then it became available again, so this is how I watched all the movies on 4K, the first 6 movies, and I liked how all of them looked on 4K. I would say the best ones, though, are the later ones, 4, 5, and 6. The first 3 do look really great, but when 4, 5, and 6 came out, they really just went full speed ahead on just everything with those movies. And when Dead Reckoning Part 1 came out, I still call it Part 1. I don't know why. It's been changed in new Steelbook releases to just Dead Reckoning, but this one I bought when it first came out. It still says Part 1 right there. But it's just habit at this point for me to call it Part 1. But even when this came out, this was another stunning 4K disc. So all the Mission Impossible movies, in my opinion, look great on 4K. So naturally, I was expecting the same with The Final Reckoning, and not only did I get that, I was somehow surpassed by that. I'm not kidding when I say Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, in my opinion, may very well be one of, if not the best 4K release of this year, in terms of picture and sound-wise. This movie looks incredible. It looks incredible. The amount of work that they did when they scanned this film into 4K to present it for its physical release, I'm just shocked and stunned the amount of work that they did. It's it looks great. It looks absolutely picture worthy. I'm not sure if this movie was shot on film or shot digitally. I didn't look up any of that information, but in regards to how the film looks when I watched it on 4K, you can picture and you can pick up every single little detail that is on screen without any issues. There's no softness, there's no DNR, that nothing like looks blurred out when it comes to the visual effects, because the visual effects were shot practically. When it comes to big franchise movies that are very special effects heavy and they use CGI, sometimes they soften the image a little bit to make the digital imagery blend in with the real footage that they shot. But since Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, all the effects were shot practically with pretty much no green screen and no like CGI effects, to my knowledge at least, everything just is blended so perfectly. So they had an easier time scanning this into 4K. And the HDR color grading just pops off of the screen. The colors are so vivid, very immersive. When the film becomes dark, it is very dark. It is very black, but when the brights come up, it is bright and it's blended so incredibly well. Again, I love the work that they did into making this movie look as great as they can on 4K. And as for the sound, I think it's a very immersive sound. I don't have a full Dolby Atmos setup, so I can't give you a full breakdown on what the film sounded like, but from my experience, some parts were a little quieter with, again, the setup that I had, but I had no problem with the dialogue. I had no problem with the action scenes, with the music, everything sound-wise. And from what I have viewed with my setup, is really great. And I've heard nothing but amazing things with people that do have Dolby Atmos set up. So picture-wise and sound-wise, from everything I've gathered, you're getting one hell of an experience at home. And I didn't go through all the special features, but there are some audio tracks on the 4K disc. There's also an isolated score track on the 4K disc, so you can watch the film with just its score, no dialogue, which I find interesting. I own a couple of movies that are like that, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and I do have a release of Star Wars: The Last Jedi that have that, and I find it interesting when they do that. Obviously not a go-to for when you want to watch the movie, but just something to just kind of check out, because the music in this film is really well done. And so I like the fact that you have that option with the brilliant score that they did. So like I said, you have that, you have audio commentaries, you have a deleted shots montage. I'm not sure what a deleted shot montage is. I didn't really get a chance to look through it. You got taking flight, filming the biplane sequences. You have on location featurettes. You have additional commentaries. They really loaded this up with bonus features. And I've noticed a couple recent physical media releases are starting to give you a little bit more in-depth bonus features. So I don't know if studios are finally listening to the fans and saying, yeah, we're not really giving a whole lot of bonus features, just like short little tiny featurettes here and there, but nothing really to write home about. Maybe we should put in the effort in giving the fans just a little bit more in their viewing experience. Because just the other night I rewatched the 2018 Halloween movie with my girlfriend, and after that it took us to some of the bonus material. And I was reading I never checked out the bonus material before, but I was reading through them, and some of them sounded interesting. But I checked out 2 of the featurettes, and they were barely a minute long. Maybe not barely a minute long, but they were very, very short. And for what the description of the special features were, I was extremely let down with it. And I know it's like that for some other releases too, so I'm wondering if studios are finally listening and giving us more in-depth special features. One can hope, at least. So to wrap it all up, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, like I said earlier, could be one of, if not the best 4K release that has come out this year. I am amazed and stunned with the amount of work that they did on it. I love it. I love the film. I still love the film, but I love it even more now that it's out on 4K. Now that we have that great, immersive, beautiful film experience at home, this movie couldn't look better in my opinion. So do I recommend it on 4K? Absolutely. I think it's still available in a steelbook form. There's also the standard release, but there's no individual Blu-ray release. So if you don't want the 4K or don't have a 4K yet, you're gonna have to pick up the 4K to get just the Blu-ray disc. Or if you're still Still not convinced on high definition. There is a DVD available, so you do have some options, but I would say look overseas for a standard Blu-ray if you don't want to pay the $30 to pick up the 4K. And before I get out of here, let's give away the digital code. Just like always, put it up to the screen. Whoever gets the code gets it. So there we go. And it's gone. Whoever gets it, enjoy. So guys, that is my review for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning on 4K. Let me know in the comment section if you've picked up the disc. Which edition did you pick up? Did you enjoy the film on 4K overall? Whatever your thoughts on everything is, let me know in the comment section. And just like always, thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back pretty soon with a 4K review of Fantastic Four: First Steps. I picked that up today. So I need to, at the very least, demo that movie to get a good representation on how the movie looks and sounds. So look forward to all that coming very soon. Again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like and share it. Subscribe right here if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, take care.